Hey guys, we're a little early today for the quantum and frequency healing experience, but we're going to get started. I just did a webinar with Dr. Carl. Maybe a few of you were on there. Dr. Carl is a veteran when it comes to chiropractic medicine. He's been practicing chiropractic medicine for 40 years, and he's one of the first people to bring red light therapy into healing practices about 20 years ago. So we just did a webinar about his trifecta light beds, which have been healing people of a whole list of different things. I'll get the list, but basically everything from neuropathy to skin conditions, every skin condition you can think of, eczema, psoriasis, and that's not skin. Skin condition like scars, like burning, what do we call it? Uh, burn wounds, and like sagging skin or cellulite. It's been working for all those things, as well as fibromyalgia, any kind of pain, long-term pain. There's people who have dementia, or who suffer from strokes that could not move their hands or had their hands seized up. They're using the red light beds, and now they're all healed. So it's really quite amazing. Uh, we have some information on our website. We're going to release that webinar soon once it's ready. So let's talk about Qi energy, because everybody wants to know, what is Qi energy? What is Qi? Is it real? And where does it come from? And what is this life force? So my name is David Wong, and I'm the Qi master. And in the last 15 years, I've been researching and writing about the most powerful force in the universe. We call it life force, or Qi. It's been known throughout different cultures with different names, such as prana for India, Ki in Japan, Pneuma in Greece, and even the Vikings called it Od, and it's been around ever since the beginning of time. And what makes it the most powerful force in the universe is that it ties everything together, right? Now with quantum entanglement, quantum physics, we're finding that the world is very much like what the ancient spiritual texts described. Some concepts such as non-locality, such as the interconnectedness of the universe, a holographic universe, such as um, what else? Such as so those concepts basically are what we call spiritual concepts, right? Like the fact that we can communicate with a higher power instantly, the fact that there is an entity we call God or whatever that is outside of time, right? They're in the beginning, uh, they're in the past, present, and the future at the same time. They're omnipotent, and they know everything. They can see everything. And now in quantum physics, we realize yes, there's actually another dimension above our third dimension, where if you were actually a being that existed on the fourth dimension, you would be able to see everything at once, right? If you explain how dimensions work, for example, right? For example, one dimension is a line. You can see is a line. If you see in the video, is one line, right? And then if you go into two dimensions, it becomes, now you have width and depth. So you have infinite number of lines to create width and depth. And somebody on the, if there's an entity on the second dimension looking down at the first dimension, they can see everything on the first dimension. But the person on the first dimension, they can only see a line. They don't see a square or a rectangle. They can't see that because it's only one dimension. Now when you make it three-dimensional, like now it's three-dimensional, right? Now you see height, depth, and width. And somebody's in the third dimension can look at and see that this is not just a line, it's not just a rectangle, it's actually a three-dimensional object. So two-dimensional people People who are at the two dimension cannot see that. Only the third dimension, no people can see that. And then there's the fourth dimension. So fourth dimension is basically infinite number of three-dimensional objects, right? Because if the first dimension is this, the second dimension is infinite number of lines, and then the third dimension is an infinite number of um, of squares or rectangles or shapes or two-dimensional shapes, then the fourth dimension must be an infinite number of three-dimensional shapes. So if somebody existed on the fourth dimensional plane, they would be able to see everything uh, at the same time. Like everything in the universe, they would be able to see instantaneously. Hey, Chad, question. I use an EMF detector, only measure about 1 foot above the coil. What kind of EMF detector do you have? And what kind of setting did you use on the detector? And what frequency did you use on the coil? So all that makes a difference in how much you can detect. And did you use the power kit or not? So there's a lot of things that you need to um, set up. So what I would do, I would play the test frequency, use a power kit to amplify the power signal, and then use a device called TF2 meter, which is better at sensing um, EMF than most of the other stuff out there. Mystic Plumber Comedian, I may be in your records twice, at least once. Email. I can't stay on this live. We'll be following up regarding affiliate stuff. Okay. So if you sign up as an affiliate, yeah, just send us an email if you need any help with that. Love Goku and gang. Is space 4D? Space is still 3D. Space is still 3D. So the space around you is still three dimension. The fourth dimension is not time. So a lot of people mistaken that. The fourth dimension is not time because the first dimension has time too, right? The second dimension has time. So this third dimension, they all have time. So time is like something behind everything else. The fourth dimension is basically infinite number of three-dimensional space. And then beyond that, there's actually more. There's fifth dimension and sixth dimension and so on. There's infinite number of dimensions, but with most humans can only comprehend or observe the world in three dimensions. But some people who can, so when you start meditating, when you start working on your psychic ability, then you start to tap into the fourth dimension because you tap into this universal field that is everywhere, every time at once, right? So only your spiritual self, your spiritual body, can access that fourth dimension. But it's there, and we know that because science proves that it is there, right? According to the science, we know it exists, um, and it's just a matter of time before people figure out how to traverse fourth dimension, right? Because now if the three dimensions all stack upon each other infinitely, right? Then if we know how to go from one existence, plane of existence, and jump to another plane of existence, then basically we can travel between places instantaneously. Thank you, Chad. So, so the fourth dimension is a concept used in mathematics and physics to describe a dimension beyond our familiar three-dimensional world. And while we can easily visualize in three-dimensional space, we can all see three dimensions. The concept of the fourth dimension is hard to grasp and it's challenging, right? Because we don't see it with our eyes. So in geometry, the fourth dimension is represented as a dimension of time, okay, which is added to the three dimensions of space to form the space-time continuum. Okay, the concept is the fundamental of Einstein's theory of relativity, where time and space are considered a single entity. In physics, the fourth dimension is also used to describe other abstract objects, such as extra dimensions in string theory, which are believed to be folded up into tiny structures that are invisible to us at our current level of technological development. One of the most well-known ways to visualize the fourth dimension is through the tesseract, or a four-dimensional cube. Okay, have you guys seen what a tesseract is? Chad, you had some frustrations with setting up, but it would get better to work with me. It'd be finding healing has been my passion for years. Yeah. So, yeah, once you get set up, once you get going, it's going to be wonderful. Right now, our sites, there's some glitch on our site. I think somebody tried to attack us with malware. So some other pages are taking forever to load. So we're fixing that today. And once that's fixed up, go to qicoil.com setup. So qicoil.com/setup. There's a ton of tutorial videos. Just go through those. There's a troubleshooting guide there as a video as well. So if you need help setting up, just watch that, follow that, and that should take care of all the questions that you have. So yeah, four dimensions, right? It exists mathematically. It's been proven to be there. But then for thousands of years, ever since the beginning of history, the spiritual masters have always talked about this other plane of existence, right? In Taoism, there's a saying that says if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, what sound does it make? Have you heard that one before? If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, what sound does it make? Okay, so it's a question that makes you start thinking about, what reality really is, right? If something happens that somewhere else in the world, but no one is there to observe it from happening, did it really happen or not? So it starts us to question, like, what is reality? Is it what we observe, or is it something outside of our observation? Okay, and what is the answer? Well, the answer is that it's probably both, and what we observe is reality, but what also is happening outside of our observation is also happening at the same time. But when you go into a higher plane of existence, like if you were a four-dimensional being, you would be able to see everything at once, all at once. So no matter if the tree is in the forest, your consciousness is everywhere at the same time at once. So your consciousness is here, your consciousness is on the other side of the universe, your consciousness is in that forest. So if that falls, you would hear it because your consciousness is everywhere. Okay, so even in Taoism, they were playing with that idea. They didn't know how to describe it with quantum physics. They didn't know how to describe it with mathematics at that time. But at that time, they used these questions and these parables and these fables in order to get people to think outside the box, and to start to see and perceive beyond their visible, what their eyes can see, what their ears can hear, and what their conventional five senses are, to start to realize that there's other levels of existence, other levels of reality that are occurring. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Some more about Taoist concepts. So Taoism is a spiritual tradition that originated from ancient China, and it's all about living in harmony with the universe. And also a huge part is about not trying and not pushing against the flow, and just going with the flow. And first of all, what is the Tao, right? The Tao is the central concept in Taoism, and it refers to the natural way of the universe. So we can call it the force or the universe or whatever we want to say. It's translated as the way, right? Have you guys watched The Mandalorian, the new episode, new season 3, season 4 now, season 4? I just watched the recent one. It's pretty good. And then the Mandalorians always say, "This is the way," right? This is the way. So it's kind of like that. So Taoism has the way, and the Tao is the way. So rather than impose your own way into the universe, the way is always there. It's all powerful. So um, basically, just go with the flow. What is the relationship between frequency and spirituality? Tony asks. Well, we discussed this a few times ago, but well, like those different dimensions, for example, is a good example of spirituality and frequencies, right? Because we're talking about one dimensional, three dimensional, four dimensional, three dimensional, four dimensional. We can kind of interpret that as frequencies, okay? Different frequencies of mathematics, right? One, two, three, four. And how's it related with spirituality is that, well, when you can get into those higher dimensions, like the fourth dimension at least, then you start to tap into that spiritual world, right? Because the spiritual world is the unseen. Spiritual world is the world that is existing in the four dimensions and higher than that. Existed because the spiritual world is everywhere, all the time at the same time, right? Everywhere, every time at the and in one place and everywhere at the same time. So that's kind of like the concept of spirituality because God is like that. God is everywhere, past, present, and future, here and everywhere at the same time. So, um, so that's how it would relate to it. Another way you can connect frequencies with spirituality is the frequency of your body. So you hear a lot of people saying that you can raise your vibration, right? Everybody wants to raise the resonance, raise the vibration. And you always hear that, oh, that guy's low vibration or that girl's low vibration. I don't want to associate with them. So what is this vibration, right? Um, well, for those that meditate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't meditate, that's fine. Let's say that you were um, that had a time in your life when you felt like everything was going well, and you felt very happy, and you felt very expansive. You felt like vibrating, literally. You felt like buzzing with energy. It could be because you be like you have a high. It could be drugs, right? Sometimes you can take drugs to get you to that point, or it could be from exercise. Some people get high from endorphins from exercise, or because something really fantastic happened to you, or you could be just have you could just have a really powerful spiritual experience for no reason at all, or you could have a very vivid dream and you wake up and then you can still feel the vibrations from that dream. So it happens throughout life where you can really literally feel the vibrations. You can feel your hand buzzing, you can feel your spine buzzing. I don't know, who's had that sensation before, right? It could be because some people go to church, they sing, everybody gets excited, and everybody gets into like very high, they call it high, full of the Holy Spirit, right? The Christians say that. Um, so all those are kind of examples of high frequency and high vibration, and so that's how you connect with spirituality, right? And then you can measure the vibration, and scientifically speaking, you can measure these specific very special brain waves that occur um, in the brain and even in the nervous system when we have those really high experiences, even spiritual experiences, right? Um, and they can actually measure some specific kinds of chemicals in your brain, such as dimethyltryptamine. They call it the DMT, the spirit molecule, that give you that spiritual experience. And it's produced in our pineal gland, by the way, our pineal gland in our heads. So there's a lot of science behind like what actually is happening to our bodies and our brains when we have these spiritual experiences, when we have these high vibrations. And so it's not just something, it's just some kind of hallucination that somebody has. It's like a real scientific. It could be like a frequency, or it could be a chemical reaction that's happening in your brain or in your body. Does that answer your question, Tony? So another concept about Taoism is yin and the yang, just like we have the yin and the yang coils. So there are two complementary forces that represent all things. They're present everywhere. Okay, it's pretty clear. We have man and woman. We have sun and the moon. We have darkness. We have light. Right? Everything's basically in the duality, uh, in the universe. Right? Except the singularity, which is God. Right? So yin is the feminine. It represents the feminine. It represents the passive and the receptive aspects of the universe, while the yang represents the masculine, the more active, assertive aspects of the universe. So Taoism teaches us that we need to balance the two forces in order to achieve, happiness, or achieve enlightenment, or achieve our full potential as humans. And that's why we have the yin and the yang coils. So the yin coil is feminine because it's expansive. It makes you relax. It makes you, um, energize in a more soothing way. Give you this calm relaxation, calm, relaxed energy. And then we have the yang coil, which is gives you this aggressive energy. That gives you this, you know, um, energy that makes you want to like, let's go, let's go, let's get them. That kind of energy. So, um, if you ask traditional Chinese medicine TCM doctors, they say that most people, actually pretty much everyone, they're low on yin energy because they have so much stress. They have too much stress and too much tension in their body and their intention in their mind. So they need more yin. They need to build up that yin, and and you don't need yang that much. So you need more yin and you need yang a little bit once in a while. So that's why we have the two coils. Now, if you use both coils at the same time, you create that balance. You create that 0 point field. You create that energy field that's ultra centered and ultra balancing and ultra focused. Um, they call it the wu. They call it wu qi, right? They call it the 0 point field. I don't know how I'll describe it, but the sensation you get is like the ultimate sensation of feeling like you're one with your the universe, and you're one with your body. So you just feel like you are like very, very present. Okay, present in your body, present in the universe, and you're kind of like expansive and focused at the same time. That's why we have the yin and yang. So it's a really amazing experience, and no other device can do that. So that's something that's very interesting with our chi coils. So yin and yang. So you got to balance everything. And if you look at the yin and yang symbol, you guys seen it before, right? Like the martial arts symbol, you see there's the black part has a white dot in it, and the white part has a black dot in it. And the interpretation is that, you know, in in the feminine, there's always a little bit of masculine, and in the masculine, there's always a bit of feminine. So there's never 100% of one thing. There's always a little bit of something in the other parts. Okay, because they're all actually one in one. They're all actually the same thing, right? It's all part of the whole. So this is very helpful when you encounter problems or you encounter bad people in your life. Okay, the dark side. Right? Even in Star Wars, we see the light side and dark side. We just talking about Mandalorian. There's the dark side and the light side, and you watch. Basically, the story is about, the struggle between the light side and the dark side. But recently in the more recent ones, they're focusing more on how uh, the dark side can turn into the light side, and the light side can turn into the dark side, right? Because in each of one of us, we have both. We have a dark side, and we have a light side. But which side you feed, um, and also who you associate with would basically determine whether you're more dark or you're more light. Are you more evil or are you more good? It really depends on which side you feed. And then when I talk about feed, is what you do consciously. Like whenever you watch, a dark video, a dark movie, you're feeding that dark side, right? Whenever you watch something that is very dark or very, has a lot of hate in it, then you're feeding that dark side, right? Um, or you live in a lot of suffering and you're suffering a lot, that may lead you to the dark side too, which is what Yoda said, right? Suffering leads to pain, leads to suffering. Suffering leads to, um, I forgot, hate, anger, and then hate, and then hate leads to dark side. Okay, I'm quoting Yoda, something like that. So, um, so even the dark side has a little bit of light side. So when you see someone that's like doing something bad in the world, I know they're evil. There's evil. You really want to hate them for what they're doing and what they've done to you or to other people that you know. But when you realize that um, they're just the yang part of existence, they're just the that yang part. There's still a part of goodness inside of them, and then they're a part of you. You're still part of them because we're all connected. Then you kind of see the world in a more relaxed and calm way, and not be so hateful and angry at things, because you cannot change. There are always going to be bad people. There's always going to be the dark side, right? That's why the Star Wars never ends, right? You think the dark side has been conquered? No, eventually it comes back, and then it fights back and kills all the Jedi, and then they become very powerful, and then you have to wait for the rebellion rebels to train the one or another group of Jedi to take to destroy the dark side again. So it's always a cycle that occurs, and I mean it's okay to get angry, but don't stay angry. You know, anger is good. When it motivates you to do something about it, right? But if you're just angry every day and you're not doing anything about it, and all you're doing is just trolling or just being cynical or just being depressed and negative, then you're not helping yourself and you're not helping anybody, and you're gonna waste your life away just being angry all the time. So when you understand yin and yang, then you're gonna be less angry because you realize that okay, this is just the normal pattern or normal laws of the universe, that there's always going to be the dark side, there's always going to be the light side. Okay. uh, Third concept. Okay, we talked about Tao, the way, right? Second, yin yang. The third concept is Wu Wei. Wu Wei is a concept of Taoism that means non-action or effortless action. It emphasizes the importance of letting things happen naturally rather than try to force things to happen. By acting in accordance with the Tao, we can achieve our goals more easily with less effort. Okay, so this is some concept that I think North Americans, are basically modern culture has a hard time understanding, because you know maybe it's starting to understand it a little bit more these days, but over the last 100 years since America was founded, they're founded on the principle of pursuit of happiness. So they always want to chase things. They want to chase more money, more power, more fame, more this, right? They want to get laid, get paid, and then live it forever, right? Um, so people chase all that, and what happens is that they pay for it with their health, right? Or they pay for it with their spiritual health. Okay, so they're chasing money, and then they're paying for it with their physical health, and they're paying for it with their spiritual health. So at the end of the day, they have a ton of money, maybe, but they have a lot of problems. A lot of them commit suicide. That's like, so many people committing suicide in the last few years because of depression and because of all sorts of different things. A lot of very successful. A lot of them have lots of money, right? So does money buy happiness? It can, but does it buy fulfillment? Does it buy a meaning in life? It doesn't. So because they're not going with the flow, and the flow of the energy, the flow of the universe is not the flow of money. The flow of money is just one form of energy. And by the way, yes, money is a form of energy, and then people don't understand that. They say, "Oh, I thought money was paper." Well, now we know that with cryptocurrency, right? Before cryptocurrency came out, they thought money was real. People thought money was real. They thought the paper had real value, but cryptocurrency made people understand and finally realize that all that is just illusion. Money is an illusion. Okay, Anybody can create a cryptocurrency these days, and if you get enough people to think it's worth something, then it's gonna start being worth something. Like take a look at Dogecoin. It's just a dog. It's got no meaning, behind it. It's just a meme, and now it's worth so much money, billions of dollars, right? So now we understand, money is just an illusion. Cryptocurrency is also an illusion. All this money, all this wealth, and all this thing is just a form of energy. And if you understand that is energy, then you realize, oh, well, then I don't really need my physical hands to make it anymore. I can just use my mind to make it, right? You don't need your physical body to make it. If it's just energy, then it has something beyond physical properties, right? It has energetic properties. So energetic properties, what can manipulate energetic properties? Well, we know that our minds can do it. Our minds are energy, and we are energy, our spirit. We are made of energy. So when we understand that, we understand what Wu Wei is about non-action, effortless action. Okay, because if everything is energy and we all empty space, and just imagine you're trying to punch the wind. Do you get anything out of it? Not really. You're just punching the wind, right? So you're trying to manipulate something that's energy, that's wind, and invisible with something that's physical. You're just going to waste your energy. Okay, so you understand that everything is energy and not physical. Then you realize, well, maybe I should use my energy to manipulate it rather than trying to punch the wind. You guys get me? So take a step back from your everyday life, and you may have some problems you're going through, and it may seem real. You may have some relationship things, like financial things, and you may have some health issues, and they feel very real because you can feel the pain. You can see your bank account, and you can see everything. You can feel everything. But if you take a step back from there and just open your eyes, or even close your eyes, and just really meditate on that thought that everything is energy, and this is all just an illusion. So when you understand that, then you say, well, I'm in this illusion. So if it's an illusion, I can change whatever I want, right? I can change my perception. I can change my frequency. Then I can change the illusion. And the moment you be able to do that, you become very powerful. The moment you be able to do that, you're, you know, infinitely more powerful than somebody who um, doesn't wake up. It's like the moment that Neo from the Matrix woke up and realized, opened his eyes, and he saw that everything was just a code. You see this code going up and down, everything. The Matrix code. Everything was green, and everything was a code. That was the moment he realized, oh, this is not real. This is just a illusion. I can see the code. Everything is just a code. Everything is just a simulation. And when you can take a step back, and it's very simple. You just need to do it, right? You just need to do it, and you realize, wow, all this is just frequency. All this is just code. All this is just energy. Now, how do I operate in a world that's energy? How do I succeed in a world that's energy? How do I be healthy, be happy, be successful in a world that's energy? Well, we have the tools, right? That's what I do. So David Wong, the Qi master, the frequency expert, my expertise is to create these tools for you to succeed in a world of energy, and use this energy with our frequencies, with our Qi coils, with our Qi energy AI, to help you to basically tune into any kind of reality you want, right? You want a reality to attract abundance. You want reality to attract your soulmate. You want reality to attract successful relationships or successful family, and vibrant health and circumstances. Then you have it. We give you the tools to do it. Okay. And then you start to operate in a world with effortless action, which is what Wu Wei is. So instead of using your physical body to try to punch the wind, you're going to use your energy to move reality. And you realize that you're going to start getting into the flow, where the flow will carry you rather than you trying to catch up with the flow. right? Just like if you're in a river that's flowing, you just have to sit there in your inflatable tube, and you'll be able to just flow down the river without any effort. And that's the point where you get to when you start to really use our frequencies and have been using them for a long time, and have been using, our remove negative energy, using all our life force frequencies, all our abundance frequencies from an inner circle specifically. Those are the most powerful ones. And then you really start to experience what it's like to be on the flow, in the flow, and to have non-action, okay, and have things come to you rather than you have to chase things all the time. Okay, so that's the third thing. Fourth thing is T. T is a concept in Taoism and is often translated as virtue or power. It refers to inner power that comes from living in harmony with the Tao. Taoist teachings emphasize the importance of cultivating T or Te through practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and living in simple, humble life. Okay. Te, or virtue or power, is the first inner power, living in harmony with the Tao. So I was just kind of explaining that, right? So when you're in harmony with the frequencies of your nature, or with the frequencies that are the most beneficial for you, okay? Because everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different, let's say that there's multiple different branches of how your life can go, just like different realities that could occur, like from a tree, right? If you use the abundance frequencies, it's going to steer you towards the branch of reality that's going to be the most beneficial for you. Because either, it can go many ways, right? It's infinite number of possibilities that can happen, occur in your life, infinite number of outcomes. But when you're using the abundance frequencies, they start to steer you towards the branch of outcomes that is going to be the most beneficial for you and in your life specifically. So when you start to get into this, basically getting in the zone. So Ted, the concept of being, having virtue and power, is basically when you are, living your purpose, right? It's same as that, living your purpose and being in tune with your life force. Also being in tune with the cosmic forces too, because the cosmic forces are affecting you since, the day you were born, or even before that. So when you're, in tune with all those things, then you have this inner power that allows you to, um, live in harmony, or uh, become successful in life. Okay. The fifth concept is the Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching is a classic Taoist text that contains teachings of wisdom about the Tao and living in harmony with the natural way of the universe. It's the one of the most widely translated and influential texts in Chinese philosophy. So I have the book. It's very complex and very deep. But to summarize it, yeah. So how to live in harmony with the natural way of the universe. So the natural way of the universe, and living in harmony with it, not trying to fight it, not trying to, um, manipulate it, twist it, or to force yourself upon it. Is just go with the flow, right? And, like you have that, as long as you have that intention of wanting to be in the most beneficial flow for you, I think you're going to be there. But the important part is you need to just relax a lot of times, but just stay present and keep looking forward. If you're watching this and, you still don't feel that you really got into flow yet, it's okay. Um, but I think you can just keep going and just keep that vision clear in your mind, and just keep it, rehearse that in your mind every day. And, and then just relax and just let your subconscious do the work. But at the same time, also write down specific things that you're going to do, like actions that you're going to take on a daily basis. That's going to get you there. So it's not all yin, because your imagination, that's yin, but you also have to do yang. You also have to do action. You also have to take action, do things, and pick up pick up the phone, call people, start writing emails, start making content, whatever you need to do to to start moving down the path that you want to go. Hey, Queen Evangeline, what is your recommendation for meditation time daily? That really depends on what kind of person you are and what your schedule is like, and when you can be the most relaxed, I guess. Personally, I meditate every day right before I wake up. Okay. So, and the reason I do that is because I'm already relaxed because I'm sleeping, right? I was just sleeping. And it's before I do everything else. So once I wake up, get up from meditation, then my mind is already pretty much in the flow. So that's another reason. And the third reason, well, it's quiet in the morning, and so those are the reasons why I do it. Like right before I go to sleep. Right before I wake up. So if you want to do this, what you can do, but you have to wake up at a certain time every day. Let's say you have a job, then just set the clock a little bit early, and let it ring so that you wake up consciously. But you're gonna stay in bed and maybe even sit up in bed so you don't fall asleep again, and then meditate during that time. So that's just personal. For some people, that may not be the best time, so I would test it out. Like if you're always falling asleep at that time, then maybe that's not the best time for you to do it. Maybe you actually have to, get up out of bed and drink some coffee even, or something. I don't know, and then start meditating. So I would test out different times to meditate. Some people also say in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. is like when we're most cyclically activated, which is actually has some truth to it. We are probably most psychically activated at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night. But who's going to wake up at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night to meditate? Not me. So some people might do it. So yeah, so good. If you've been meditating 5 to 7 minutes before you wake or after you wake, that's a good time to do it. Damien says, "How is Mr. Qi? How is your chess game? You mean like actual chess? You mean like playing chess? You want to play chess with me? I don't think I'm that good. I haven't practiced chess." I don't know. I never really got into chess. I think the reason is because it takes too long. It takes too much of my brain power. I rather use my brain power and do other things. I don't know. It's just me. I was never really into chess. I'm more into real time games, such as actual fighting, like boxing, like sports, right? Like chess is good because it's strategy. You have to guess what the other person is doing 5 steps ahead of what they're, 5 steps ahead of them if you can. And you do moves and counter moves, and you have usually you have a lot of time to plan it. Boxing or fighting, you don't have time to really plan. You have a strategy, but then you have to change it on the spot, because if you don't, you get your lights punched out. So I like that more because um, it makes you stay present. But both are good because you need both kind of skills. You need to be able to strategize and have time to plan things out, but also you need to have skills that allow you to execute instantly and then make decisions on the spot, because both of those things are valuable to you in life. Okay, you don't want to be always willy nilly and then like wing everything you do, and then uh, improvise everything you do, because then you might make a mistake, right? And you don't want to be planning like all the time, and then like before you do everything, you have to like have like 12, like 10 meetings, and write everything out and chart everything out before you, and analyze every single piece of data before you take action. So what you need is, you need to know how to do both, and you need to know when to do both, right? Because let's say it's a business plan. Well, yeah, you need to make a plan, and you need strategy, and you need to weigh all the pros and cons and all that. But if you're in the middle of something and time is of the essence, then you need to be able to make decisions and take action immediately. There's also a discipline called chess boxing, which does both. Yeah, I heard about that. Maybe I might get good at that. Chess boxing. That's an interesting concept. I never tried it. The Bolsheviks brought in chess to keep the masses away from politics and thinking. uh, it's a good strategy to do that, because people are so focused on chess that they go away from politics, because sometimes politics can be very stressful, especially when people who are in power are doing things like that are very bad for people, or they're just bad people in general, and then they just keep accumulating more power and abusing more people. It's really stressful to follow politics when that's happening. Chess boxing. Well, I gotta start doing more boxing now. I'm not really into chess. I just like to focus on boxing. I use my brain a lot when I'm working on my business, so I don't need something else. Like for me to relax and to to recharge, I need to not use my brain because I'm using my brain all day long. This April, the World Chess Championship will be between Russia and Chinese. Okay, that's pretty typical, isn't it? Like the Russians are usually pretty good at that, right? And the Chinese, they're pretty good at that too. I got some comments here. Sorry, I'm pretty slow here. Hi, David. You know how vitamins kickstart chemical processes in us, and the body breaks them down via enzymes and changes them into other compounds. Yeah, that's what happens. When we take a frequency based supplements, do these same chemical pathways reactions take place? Yes, they actually do. Interestingly. Yeah. So the frequencies actually do the same thing as chemical processes. It seems odd to think that they do, because there are no physical molecules or enzymes to break down or rearrange. Well, how it works is that the cells actually communicate with electromagnetic fields and electromagnetic frequencies. So you can send electromagnetic frequencies and send instructions for the cells to do a chemical process. So it's like you're hacking the cells to do what you want. Instead of relying on chemicals to trigger chemical processes, rely on just a signal or the instructions, the electromagnetic instructions to make the cells do the chemical processes. Okay, so it's not that hard, not that far fetched. I set a single alarm earlier and meditate for a while. Yeah, so a lot of people that don't have time to meditate, because what happens, like for me, I don't meditate later because I know I'm gonna be so busy. I have so much thing to do, and then by the end of my work day, I'll be so tired. I don't really have, like for me personally, I don't have the motivation to meditate at the end of the day. Okay, so so that's why I do it before I wake up, before everything, because then nothing's gonna get in the way. Okay, and it's good to do it before you wake up, because before you eat, right? Once you start eating, then your psychic centers kind of turn off. That's why fasting actually makes people feel more spiritually connected. Is because, um, well, first of all, the most of your energy is actually used to digest your food. You know that, like most of your metabolism or most of your energy that your body spends is used to metabolize food. So if you don't eat, then you have all this extra energy in your body already, and that energy is going to go to other other places in your body, like your brain, right? Or to your psychic centers. I can move foil when rubbing hands together and place over the foil. Is this special? I think you're just referring to static electricity. Like when you rub your hands together, it creates static. The same electricity when you have like lots of wool and you rub it together, or your carpet, and you walk in your carpet during the winter and you get a shock when you like this static shock when you touch the wall. So that's nothing really special. I wouldn't call that any kind of psychic ability. But there are ways you can train it to have telekinesis. I've seen it done, but it takes time to train. But I've seen people do it. Basically, they put a piece of paper and they put it inside of a bowl, right? A glass bowl. So there's no air current in there, so they can't blow the paper and the air doesn't move. And they're able to use their hands and their intention to move the paper that's hanging from a string and make it spin or spin. So I've seen that happen. Okay, so that's a little bit about Taoism. Another important part of the Taoism is about the three treasures. Okay, so the three treasures are Jing, Qi, and Shen. Okay, let me explain to you what those things are. They're also known as the three vitalities, and then they're an important concept in Taoism and traditional Chinese medicine. They're considered to be the fundamental components of human life and health. So, okay, let's start with Qi. We all know Qi, right? Because I'm the Qi master. Kind of translated as energy. Qi is the vital energy that flows through the body and is responsible for movement, growth, and transformation. It is said to be the basis of all life and is associated with the respiratory and circulatory systems. Qi is said to be stored in the Dan Tian, just below your navel. Practices such as acupuncture and herbal medicine are believed to help regulate and balance qi. Okay, that's important. Okay, so according to traditional Chinese medicine, they use acupuncture and herbs to balance qi. So if your yin is high, they'll make it back down. If your yang is high, they make it balance back down. But they don't actually give you more qi, right? Isn't that interesting? So acupuncturists can only balance the qi in your body, allow it to heal, but cannot give you more qi. So that's something very unique about Qi coils is they actually give you qi and balance it too. And even an acupuncturist and even herbs won't really do that. Okay, so that's qi. And what is jing? Jing means essence. Okay, jing is the foundation of the body's physical vitality and is associated with the reproductive system, bones, and blood. It is believed to be the material basis of the body and is often equated with the concept of life force. Jing is said to be stored in the kidneys and can be depleted through excessive stress, sexual activity, and other factors. Practices such as Qigong and Tai Chi are believed to help conserve and replenish Jing. Okay, so Jing is like essence, and you'll find that when you start using Qi coils, you're gonna gain a lot of energy in this life force and Jing energy too. So Qi coils actually can do all these three things. And then the third one is Shen. Shen means spirit. So Shen is the spiritual aspect of human life and is associated with consciousness, emotions, mental activity. It is said to be the highest and most refined of the three treasures and is associated with the heart. Shen is believed to be influenced by a person's thoughts, emotions, and actions. And practices such as meditation, mindfulness are believed to help cultivate and refine Shen. So, the Chinese believe in the Qi, which is energy, Jing, which is the essence or life force, and Shen is the spirit. So, and what do you know? Qi coils can actually do all three. Qi coils will enhance your Qi, Qi coils will enhance your Shen, and Qi coils will enhance your Jing. All those above. So basically, I found the answer to health according to Chinese. The three most important are the three vital energies, or three vital treasures, the three vitalities according to traditional Chinese medicine. I cracked the code. Thousands of years of research, I simplified into just using a coil, right? So instead of having studying all these like hundreds of different meridians, acupressure points in your body, I mean, it's good to know all those things. And then studying all these hundreds of different herbs and what they do in the body, and then like learning like 50 or 100 different like meditation practices and all these different terminologies, which are good to know, good to learn. You know, thousands and thousands of years of tradition. I mean, it's great to know those things. It's great to study them. But I simplify it. You just use a cheat code. You get all those three things. That's it. You don't have to do. You don't have to. You don't have to get the. You don't have to study it, and no one needs to teach you anymore. You know, it's like the artificial intelligence of health, right? Now people can write, articles and books with artificial intelligence. They can create arts with the click of a button, better or as good as the masters, the art masters, and they don't need to. They just click a button. So Qi Coil is like the AI of Chinese medicine, right? Um, just click a button, and then you get all that, all the three vitalities, given to you: Jing, Shen, and Qi. Isn't that cool? And um, I don't know what the how people are going to receive it. Especially, I think for the Chinese people into Chinese traditional medicine, I think they don't really care. Um, that it they don't really care how that it's going to kind of put them out of a job, because this can do so many other things that they do. I think they just wanted something that works. Like they're gonna say, if it works, then we'll use it, right? I don't care what we call it. I don't care what it looks like. If it works, then we're gonna use it. So I think that's what's gonna happen. China may have a world chess champion this year, first time ever. Oh, really? So first time ever. Interesting. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this show, our live stream. I talk a little bit about Taoism, talk a little bit about the three treasures from Taoism, and hope that gives you some more enlightenment. How have you been received by Western medical world? Very well. We very well received in the Western medical world, particularly with chiropractors, and because chiropractors, the basis, like their founder, D.D. Palmer, he believes in life force, because he said that life, what um, he says, life is the expression of tone. Okay, so you guys, are any of you guys chiropractors out there? You guys know who D.D. Palmer is, right? He is the founder of chiropractic medicine. And many people don't know, even chiropractors don't know, that he said that life is the expression of tone, tone being some kind of vital energy. So he even uses the words vital energy, which is the same as life force and chi. So he bases his chiropractic medicine based on energy and vital force, and based on balancing this energy within the body. And if it's out of balance, it's going to cause disease. But if it's in balance, then you're going to be healthy. So chiropractors, especially, they love our Qi coils. And actually, I'm working with one of the top chiropractors in the whole country. He's actually used to be the president of Parker University. If you're a chiropractor, you know what that is, because that's one of the largest chiropractic training universities in North America. And now he's using my Qi coils. He loves them, and he's also recommending them to all the chiropractic associations. Soon I'll be speaking to the Chiropractic Congress, which is the basically the entity or the community of all the top chiropractors in the 50 states in the United States. So all the top chiropractic doctors and all the presidents of the chiropractic associations throughout the entire every state in the United States will be part of that congress, and I'm going to be speaking as the frequency expert. Okay, to this group. So, so the question is, how have you been received with Western medical world? We're doing very well, and we're getting a lot of success in that, and it's gonna just get better, bigger and bigger, as they start using it more and start telling more people about it. So that's a good question. Okay, so some announcements, by the way. You're gonna get an email very soon saying that Qi Coils are prices are going up. So yeah, they're going to be going up next Wednesday. And I really don't like doing this. We tried to hold off increasing the prices for 2 to 3 years on the minis, especially because they're only $3.99. But you know, inflation's still going. All our manufacturing costs and labor costs and shipping costs, they all increased over the last couple of years while we didn't increase our prices. So they will finally increase on Wednesday. So if you want to get your Qi Coils before the price increase, you still have time. You still have a little bit less than a week to do it. But after that, all the prices are going to go up next Wednesday. So just give you that word, that notice in advance, so you can take advantage of the low prices while they're still low. But even if you buy them later, it's still going to be good value, because it's still actually the low, probably one of the lowest priced systems for what it's going to do, for what it actually does. So and for the track record that it has, and also for the technology behind it. So so either way, if you want to get it before the price increase or after increase, then just go ahead and do what you need to do. And what else? So right, so couple other things is we're going to be fixing some of the pages that are slow, like I mentioned. We had some malware attack. Do you guys know who would try to shut down our business? Try to send malware to our website? If you do, then try to help us to find them out, so how to stop them from doing this again. But yeah, we have people trying to attack us, but we're fixing that. And if you guys want to help us out, then tell us. We have somebody who emailed us about some pages that weren't working, and then he helped us out. I forgot your name, but thank you for doing that. Thank you for helping us find these pages that are not working, so that we can fix them as soon as possible. Because our team is so busy, they might miss a few things here and there. So it's very helpful when you guys send in some information about which pages aren't working, or which pages are slow. Then we can go ahead and fix those things. Sometimes we don't see those things. How many hours a day should one wear it? So the Qi Coils, you don't really need to wear it all day. You can just use it for 20 minutes a day. But some people wear it all day and play them all day. So it's up to you. But I don't use it more than 20 minutes a day. It's up to you. Some people, like I said, if you want to use it all day, you can use it all day if you want. Okay, and other announcements are we have a couple surveys going out. So make sure you answer those surveys. That's going to help us to improve our stuff. And anybody here in the Vancouver, British Columbia area, we're going to be doing some possibly some events, or we're going to be doing a show, reality show soon. So if you're in this area, you want to help out, you want to be in the show, then just reach out to me. We can see how you can be part of that. Especially if you have any kind of like, well, actually, it doesn't really matter. If you have no experience, that's fine. Because if you want to be someone that we talk about the healing story in the show, then that will help. Or if you're actually a professional and you know work in the film industry, it will be great to see if you can help us out with that too. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time, which will be next Tuesday. All right, use the Qi and prosper.